I hate to say it, but this is gonna be the last time y'all see this intro, bro. This video is about to get very surgical. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, and I think one of the main things that have been holding me back is the fear, right? The fear of the other side of what would happen if I did make this video. And that's why I'm asking out of respect, right? For anybody who loves my channel, for anybody who, loves my music, loves my back, whatever it is, if you enjoy something that I bring, I would appreciate it if you showed just that level of respect by watching this entire video, watching this video in its entirety. You see what I'm saying? So you can really understand my headspace and where I'm coming from when it comes to how I'm feeling about this. I initially created this channel. I had a vision, right? There was purpose behind this channel. There was a focus. I knew exactly the type of fruit that I wanted to deliver, right, when I created this channel. Now, something that happens in my life and has happened in my life, and that's why it's showing up again with my channel, is at times I have a very good way of creating a vision and processing a vision and dissecting that vision and taking the steps to go towards creating the fruits of that vision. But then I get distracted, or then something happens, or then, it's always and then. You feel what I'm saying? It's always and then this happened, and then I became distracted and came off course. So that's what I think happened with this channel. I think there was a point in time where the purpose and the vision for this channel got lost in the process of creating as consistently as I create while dealing with life, while dealing with the challenges of being a content creator, of having all these new eyes on you, of consistently seeing people's perceptions and people's ideas of who you are. Because I created this channel with the purpose of having you walk away with a new perspective, right? Whether it's about you, somebody you love, spiritual growth, right? And I'm no guru, but I knew that I wanted to do my part to help elevate. You see what I'm saying? And in that process, elevate with you guys, being vulnerable about my experiences, being vulnerable about, how these songs connect to me, and boom, all these deep dives that really get into the core of human nature and humanity, right? And our spirits and our spirituality and how this connects to, all these different things. That the goal was always about elevation. You see what I'm saying? And I would be lying if I said that's the result consistently on this channel, because it's not. It got to the point where all we was doing was criticizing people. And that's not to say that the criticism wasn't necessary. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think the criticism was absolutely necessary. That battle was a lot bigger than just Kendrick versus Drake. And we've been talking about that forever. That was for the integrity of the genre, the integrity of the culture, right? The survival of hip hop as we know it, not as the business knows it. You see what I'm saying? That's what that battle was about. There's no telling the reality that we live in if Drake wins that battle. So what we've been talking about is the fallout and the after effect of that battle and what's taking place. So all the criticism of the lawsuit, of the statements made by rappers who are jaded by the fact that they've been casted out, and therefore they want to try to bring it down. Like, we had to criticize. We had to combat the narratives that are coming from certain media. We had to be the interruption to what they were trying to make take place. So don't get me wrong. However, what I think went wrong in my perspective and on my channel is we got away from the purpose. That means we were no longer aligned with the vision. That doesn't mean that the criticism shouldn't have been there. It means that if I'm going to criticize, it's got to be from the place where the vision is still intact. You can't lose the vision no matter what. And that means within the criticism, I'm supposed to give y'all something. Something that can help with spiritual growth, perspective, helping you see the humanity in the person that I'm criticizing. Because in reality, as somebody who's looking to follow, right, to follow God, Jesus, and all these different, like, if I'm gonna criticize as a human being, the absolute least I can do is give you the humanity of the person that I'm criticizing. Not just criticizing them and turning the video off, but to give you the humanity, give you the perspective. Maybe you see certain elements in that person in yourself. Maybe you see certain elements of that person in the people around you, your family, your friends. And maybe one of my videos can help give you perspective and empathy and compassion to that person, and it reshapes your relationship. Maybe there's certain elements that I'm talking about in a way where you can see it in yourself, and that helps heal something within you. This has to be the perspective in the videos that I create. And I have to have that at the forefront, no matter what I'm doing. When that video is done, I have to do that part. You see what I'm saying? I have to do that part in some way. You feel me? Whether it's through my experience, whatever it is, I gotta do my part to maintain the vision. And I'll be lying if I told you that that is what happened on this channel. That's not what happened on this channel. And this leads us to a much bigger conversation, right? A conversation that's bigger than content, a conversation that's bigger than this YouTube platform and what we've created here, right? Something that's way deeper than that. And honestly, it's gonna take me being more vulnerable with y'all than I ever have on this platform. But I do think it's necessary, because I do think through me showing y'all my truth, there's going to be somebody out there who feels exactly where I'm coming from. Somebody out there who's probably going through the exact same thing, who might be able to experience their breakthrough through my breakthrough. And the way I'm going to present this to y'all is these videos that I put together with my homegirl. You feel what I'm saying? I got her YouTube tagged in collaborators. You can click on it and go subscribe to her. I'm going to play 2 of these videos for y'all. And I want y'all to sit through it and watch it. Thank you to everybody that's still here, right? And thank you to everybody that's staying true to my request and watching this entire video, because it's important to me. And I hope that what you're watching can help you witness something in yourself, or maybe even in somebody around you. All right. I mean, I don't really know what my life journey is in totality. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like I'll figure that out. But I know whatever is for me is on the other side of trust, right? And that's just trusting and I know that because I've experienced it. I mean, it's different than just calling something out and being like, but when I've experienced that level of trust, just in, when I'm aligned and I'm being told to go do something, or I'm being told to write something and I act on that, I see the way that the blessings fall in order. But I know that the further you go down that line, the harder it is to do it, because it's pulling you away from what you think you are and what you think your identity is. And I think, that's been a lot of my life. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of my life has been about, like, fighting for my authenticity, fighting for who I am. And, especially when I think about the family I grew up in, you know what I mean? Because in reality, I learned young that I'm not really like my family. A lot of my family, you know what I'm saying? The previous generation, I'm not like them a lot, but, these are the people you love and you respect. So of course you're going to take what they try to teach you, but I think my life has always been about trying to figure out my own way and my own path. And I mean, to lean all the way into it, you know what I'm saying? I just turned 28 and I feel like I'm finally deciding, like, nah, like, I gotta lean all the way into it. And doing this is the only way. Now, the thing about that clip is I had already been contemplating on this for a long time, right? And contemplating on this whole thing for a really long time, because in reality, it's working. You feel what I'm saying? What I'm doing is working, right? It's like, the money, the place, the car, the family, everything is good. You feel what I'm saying? I could take care of my family. Like, everything is good, right? But there's a difference between living the life that's good for you specifically and following the calling that God gave you and living that life and having those blessings and having, because that reality was crafted specifically for you, right? Those blessings, that love, those relationships, all of that were crafted specifically for you. And I don't want to say I've been cursed, because it's not a curse, but I've been unlucky enough to experience what that feels like. Right? There were a major time in my life where I didn't really know what it was like to be aligned with my calling and be living it and breathing it consistently, day to day to day, moment to moment, being focused, being intentional on it. And how you can hear God's voice, how you can hear, right? How you can hear these things and feel these things. How your natural excitement will take you to where your blessings are. But what gets in the way of that is the overthinking, the questioning, the delay, the hesitation, the procrastination. And now you are unknowingly taking steps away from what was crafted for you. Right? And that could show up in so many different ways, including survival. And I've been in and out of that for so long. You see what I'm saying? And I've come to the conclusion that, even when I know y'all seen that post with my mentees are experienced this. Like, I'm not going to give away what was going on, but my mentees are going through their own journeys of authenticity and having to sacrifice certain things in order to get to that root of their authenticity and cut off the identity that they think that they are, right? That they've created, that they've put together in order to survive this world. And who am I to know and be aware of those pieces of me and not do the same thing? You see what I'm saying? That's my truth. That's my real truth. And I know it's going to be some people who don't rock with that. It's going to be some people who love it. It's going to be some people who still rock with me. Some people who take advantage of this and try to smear me and try to tear me down. And all that is fine and dandy. These are the things that you get to experience because you weren't aligned. So when you step into that alignment, that's the consequence. So I'm okay with all that. But it's to acknowledge and understand that as fearful and as terrifying as this is, I'm okay with that. And with that, I'm going to show y'all one more clip. And then we're going to finish out with this last piece of conversation I want to get to y'all.
And it's crazy because, like you were saying about, the fam not wanting to, you bring the camera around, they like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you always got your camera, but now it's like you ain't bring your camera. That's how I feel when it comes to, like, my heart and mercy and forgiveness. The type of love that resides in my heart or the love that resides in my space. I think it got to a point where I just felt like maybe I just shouldn't have it. Maybe I shouldn't show it. You know what I mean? Maybe that's not who I'm supposed to be. That's really, and then, how I started to see the world. I started to see the world as like, I probably, I'm not allowed to be who I am because that's not what the world requires. Like, anytime I felt the most authentic, anytime I felt something deep within me explode or something, my aura and my natural being, it came directly from my heart. It came directly from my natural state of being. You know what I mean? And, that's why I appreciate that camera comment, because it's like, that's how I felt about my heart when it comes to the world. I feel like my heart had no place in the world. You know what I mean? My real perspective and how I really feel about things, they weren't right. You know what I mean? They're not the thing that people need to hear. That's what I convinced myself of. So it just became something that's not me.
And did you convince yourself of that through just like your perception of yourself, or through your interactions with other people and how they were responding?
It was them. Yeah, it was them. I think, and it's not to put responsibility on them. It's still responsibility on me because I allowed outside influences to tell me that this is not what this doesn't work. It's not safe. You can't trust. You can't forgive. You can't be merciful. You can't be loving because that'll get you whatever. That'll get you hurt. That'll get you betrayed. That'll get you whatever it is.
And that's my honest truth right there. You see what I'm saying? And from my childhood, you know what I mean, this has always been a battle. And that's one thing I had to recognize. Like, from my childhood, this has been a battle where I had these natural reactions, these natural feelings, these natural ways of being that I'm always told it don't work. This can't work. I was always told not to trust people. I was always told not to, you know, be too loving, not to be forgiving, not to be merciful, not to, you know, I was told all of these things, and rightfully so. It's coming from people who was in the streets. It's coming from, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, my granddad. Rest in peace, my Uncle Mike. It's coming from drug dealers, killers, and pimps, and all these different types of people. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's coming from them. So that's all they know. And even though, you know, they beat these things in my head that obviously wasn't right outside, and fuck right and wrong, but just wasn't conducive to a healthy experience in his life. They were only doing what they could. They were only doing what and showing me what they understood. They were only trying to cut the consequences that they perceived out of my life. Right? So they was doing the best that they could. My mom, she was doing the best. They all did the best they could. You feel what I'm saying? To minimize the mistakes, to minimize to limit the curse. So the fact that I have the opportunity, that not only do I have the awareness and the understanding of what I can do with my blessings and my power, it's disrespectful to them, it's disrespectful to God, it's disrespectful to anybody who supported me, anybody who was whatever, to not stand in that power and walk into my calling. And that's the conclusion that I've come to. I surrender. I surrender to God, and I surrender to my purpose. And I know that transformation isn't linear. Transformation is a process. Transformation is a process. I'm going to make more mistakes. I'm going to fuck up more. This isn't going to be the last time that, you know, I'm out of integrity. I'm out of alignment. I'm out of whatever. It's not going to be the last time. And that's my real assessment of my humanity. Maybe some people are always perfectly in line. I'm just not one of them people. And I take grace in that. I take understanding in that. And I forgive myself because I've been forgiven. I've been saved. I've been, you know, that's my reality. And there's a certain level of peace and comfort that comes with that. And I'm surrendering to God's calling. And I'm allowing God to take me wherever it is that he wants to take me. It's not about what I think should be done. Right? But the time, you know, I do got to step on my own feet, but I'm surrendering. And it's not that I'm retiring from YouTube. It's not that I'm retiring from this channel, even though that I really thought like that's all I could do. I thought I had to delete this channel in order to get back in alignment. But it's not that. It's that I'm not going to delete this channel. I'm not going to delete all those videos. I'm not going to delete all of that stuff that's down there. There's some things I'm not proud of, some things that I am proud. I'm going to leave it because I'm going to be a walking testimony of what it is to recognize that we get to step into our calling, and it's never too late. And it's never too late. And there will be people that try to trash you. There will be people that try to pull you down because they don't want you to grow. They don't want you to go over there. They don't want you to step into that alignment because it might make them feel a certain way. It might whatever. But that's okay. And whatever is coming next, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, whatever it is, I'm walking in it, and I'm walking to with my head high and my chest out. And it's time to be me. So I won't be retiring from YouTube. I will be retiring from Jalopy Bungus. I know I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of hours, a lot of all this stuff into that name, into that life, into, the merging of the rapper and the boom boom. All the different things I've done as Jalopy Bungus. It's time to be Jason. It's time to be who the name that my mother gave me, the name that God sent to her before I was born. I get to respect that name, and I get to respect that calling. And so you won't know me as Jalopy Bungus no more. You know me as Jason now. And I will stand in my authenticity. And I will talk about what I want to talk about. I will create what I want to create. And my music, because I'm a creator, and I'm an artist, and I'm a musician. And my content, and the whatever I end up doing, the skits, the books, it's a plentiful life down this road. And I appreciate everybody that's still gonna be here and still gonna rock with me and still gonna roll with me. And it don't mean that I'm not gonna talk. We still gonna be talking about majority of hip hop. We still gonna be doing what we do. But if you watch the video and you know what the difference is gonna be. I'm gonna make sure that my vision is at the forefront of all these videos. So thank y'all. I love y'all. Let's continue this journey. And I get to honor myself as a musician too. So it's split plenty more music from a real place. Could be starting tomorrow. We just gonna create and keep creating. And I don't give a fuck what happens. As long as I get to create and use my blessing that God gave me to touch people and to touch people's hearts and to have people reflect and humanize others. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not retiring from YouTube, but I am retiring from inauthenticity. I am retiring from holding my tongue. I am retiring from hiding. I am retiring from not being who I am on full display. And I got one more clip for y'all to close it out. I love y'all. And if you on this journey too, walk all the way through it. You got this. Let me be the example from here on out. All right? I love y'all deeply. All right? Y'all have a great day.
I think now it's like I'm at a point where I understand the impact of what that looks like. And I think there is an audience out there and people out there who are ready to hear and see me. And see me. What does it look like when I'm building from what Jason wants? You see what I'm saying? From what Jason Amaro Abernathy wants.